Well, this is actually dedicated to a good friend, Hygiene, Steve Sandfield, who lives in the Sierra Nevadas, a member of Gary Snyder's community, and dear old friend, and we have a habit of visiting each other, but also writing quick snippets of our lives in the form of haiku, one to another, actually writing them out on cards and putting stamps on them and sending them through the mail, which nobody seems to do anymore, but we love it. Anyway, he came to visit once, and this poem is dedicated to Steve Sandfield. It's called Late Afternoon Over a Bottle of Sake. Blue clouds float backwards in autumn sky. Cottonwoods twirl in leaf song. You open a bottle of the finest sake. We scan the trees. Year after year, the same leaves over and over again. Your hair is white, life is full. Bodhidharma, Buddy Holly, Memphis Minnie, Chet Baker, now silent in the meditation hall. Sun stands on its legs. The broken hoe has become a morning glory. And you, a funny old guy with lots to say. Buddha was born from Mara's side, Christ from a virgin, Lao Tzu barefoot in a falling star. What do we mean by miracle, I ask? You tell me your Roshi told you, stand, now sit. You have just seen a miracle. Would you like to go back and forth on some travel poems?
Why not?
Maybe some from afar? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure. Then I'll change what I'm reading next. Okay. I wrote this poem after a trip that John and I took to Vietnam. And we were mainly in the north, mainly north of Hue. Transforming the strange. On the road to Mi Sum, 3 women in white ao dai ride their bicycles down a dirt road as one conversation, while white herons stand on a soaked field. At the marketplace, old women's teeth are red with betel nut as they crouch down low, smoking cigarettes, talking to each other. I desire the way they are rooted to and know their place on earth as the sun breaks through this sky once flooded with clouds. Indigo cloth stretched on lines of rope dries in morning sun on the dirt path to Lao Kai. I pass an old woman, smile at her, and say hello. She pats my hips hard as she goes by. I like the way body becomes language here, the way strange becomes every day, how the roads open out in front of us, juicy as bitten pomegranate seeds, abundant as monsoon rains, delicately edged as the hand-laced cotton cloth we buy to cover our table when we arrive home.
I'll read, speaking of Vietnam, a couple. Every road out is the one home. The taste of wood smoke in high mountain tea. An unfinished path swept clean by the breeze. How far out to find the way back? 500 steps up the pass, 300 hidden in mist. Over the top, clouds fill the crags, cairns rattle, tumble their stones. No word for the missing ledge that carries the feet, nothing to mark the way. Only the moon-washed deck of love's consent, a few gifts in the trunk, and the path set straight, no matter how crooked the road I take. And another one, I was being my age, and going to Vietnam for the first time in, I believe, 1999. I was always asked very politely, first time in Vietnam. That was their way of finding out if I had participated in the American War in Vietnam. So this is a story that sort of is about yet another question on that theme, and it's called To the Mountain of Perfumed Traces. After climbing 300 steps past the Goddess of Mercy, up green switchbacks, then out under blue, the guide politely asks, "First time, Vietnam?" I answer, yes, to the whisking sound of an old monk sweeping around fallen blossoms in an ancient temple garden. Too young to remember the war, the guide makes jokes about John Wayne, says she saw how big Americans were in newsreels in the jungle where her father was killed. In a dim temple cave, she hands me incense for an offering to those gone before. I hold it. She lights it. Our fingers nearly joined. In the shadows, a tear blurs my eye. On the way down, the world is veiled in haze. We stand again at the Goddess of Mercy, silent. I don't ask who killed her father. She doesn't ask where I was, Tet, 1968. 30 years later, here together, the American resistor, the girl from Tai Bin. 3 bows to the Goddess of Mercy.